All the world's a stage, as someone fairly popular once wrote, and the Breaking Wave Theater Company is producing and presenting the very popular comedy by that very person, Much Ado About Nothing, by the Bard himself. Joining me right now is Madison Scott, who is directing this comedy. Madison, half a day, welcome to the studio.
Thank you.
And thank you for putting on this play. I have actually never seen Much Ado About Nothing, much less, if I can twist words around, one that's got a very contemporary twist on it.
Yes, this is very contemporary. So it's Much Ado About Nothing by William Shakespeare in a modern verse translation by Ranjit Bolt. So what that means is the language is a lot more accessible. It sounds kind of like Shakespeare, but you don't have quite as much confusion. And to add even more to it, we have some Chamorro and Tagalog language translations inside the text as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so for a kid like me who always I had major migraines after reading Shakespeare because I was always darting to the bottom and reading the footnotes to figure out exactly what he was talking about. This is very, very accessible, as you said, and I would assume by that merit, fun for all ages.
Absolutely, yeah. I would say there's kind of adult themes and a little bit of language, so PG-ish, but definitely lots of jokes. It's a comedy. People will have fun no matter how old they are.
Yeah, okay, so for people who aren't familiar with Much Ado About Nothing, it's what the kids might consider these days to be very, very meta. Would you agree? Maybe, maybe not.
I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm not sure what meta means exactly, but it's very self-aware. There's lots of jokes. Yeah.
Self-referential. And
yes, definitely.
Okay, so set it up for us and everything so people can kind of understand, what the overall theme is. Because, I mean, it literally talks about nothing at all.
Well, so yes, it talks about the nothing that is love and all the ways that we can get in our own way, right? We make mountains out of molehills. So Much Ado About Nothing is a romantic comedy. There's this couple at the center that's very witty, and they're constantly sparring, but everyone can tell they're perfect for each other. And we're set up to just watch that love story unfold. They're going to trick each other, or their friends are going to trick them into believing that the other loves them, and we're going to have that. But then there's this extra stuff on the side where there's a villain who creates this lie that kind of tears everything down, and then there's all this drama, but it's all born out of nothing. It's a lie. It's fake.
Exactly. And very true to Shakespeare, these are emotions that each one of us as humans have gone through, will go through as part of the human condition. Everybody's going to take away something from this. They may be able to empathize with it or just say, wow, that's, I never really thought that person experienced what I experienced.
Yeah, that's one of the beauties of Shakespeare and theater in general. It really works our empathy muscle, and it's great to show up and see yourself reflected in your full humanity. It's the whole spectrum.
Now, for people who have never experienced a proper Shakespeare play, a lot of people, everybody does Hamlet at some point. A lot of people do Romeo and Juliet, obviously Henry V. But if this is people's first foray into Shakespeare, this is a great way to get involved.
This is the best way to get involved. It's so fun. The language is so accessible, and we're doing it outdoors, so it feels just like a really exciting night. It's Shakespeare under the stars. We're behind the agricultural building on UOG's campus, and so you've got the bay just to the side of you. You've got beautiful flowers and this plumeria tree. There's all of this surrounding you that makes you feel both like you're very connected to Guam, not only with your surroundings, but with the way we're telling the story. And yeah, the text just couldn't be more inviting.
Okay, now that's interesting because you're performing for the stage, but technically outside. So what kind of challenges does that present for you as a director and for the cast?
Yeah, it's a lot of challenges. The wind coming off the Pacific Ocean, for example, is quite strong. So there's that. We're also encouraging audience members to be prepared for inclement weather. So bring, a rain jacket or a poncho. We will keep going in light rain. If there's a full downpour, we will be rescheduling, so you'll need to stay tuned to our social media for that. There's also bugs, so bring bug spray. Yeah, so various outdoor things that are a little challenging, but also make it feel very alive.
Shakespeare himself would perform in the rain, you guys, so we can too. We can sit there and applaud these wonderful players. So let's talk about that. We at KUM are big fans of Breaking Wave Theater Company and of the arts in general. Who's in the cast?
Well, we have some veterans. So Hannah Elmore has been with us for a while, as has Joe Tai. I'm trying to think of who else is long-term.
Everybody in Hannah's family is immensely talented.
Yeah, well, her sister is a choreographer for us. We've got that going.
Sarah?
Lizzie.
Lizzie, okay.
Yes. So they're with us. And then we've got some new faces, I believe. Will Parkinson and his wife, Camille. Camille's also serving as our Tagalog translator. So they're in the mix. And then we've got some high schoolers too. So we've got people who are full-grown adults like me who just really like Shakespeare and having a good time. And then we've also got some college students and high schoolers.
Okay, if you've got our buddy Will Parkinson, no problem about being outside because that dude can project.
Yes.
Yeah, and that is kind of the point, right? Because you want to actually not just listen to the words and the themes that are being put forth and everything, but you want to actually really experience that.
Yeah, the language is beautiful. It would be a shame to miss the poetry, even though it is in this modern verse translation. Some of the turns of phrases just like hit you right in the heart. It feels really good.
Okay, so when is opening night? Opening day?
Opening night, yeah.
Okay.
So we open on Thursday, May 5th. The show will start at 7 p.m.
Next Thursday.
Yes. Oh my God.
No pressure, by the way. You're cool, Madison.
Yeah, it's all
You're
good.
among friends here.
Okay.
Fellow journalists got to stick together.
So yeah, May 5th through 7th at 7 o'clock, and May 8th, our show is at 5 o'clock. We do pre-show panels 45 minutes before the show to discuss various themes.
Okay, so as a director now, I'm going to ask you for your own experience in it. What was it like putting this together, getting everybody on the same page? I mean, it's a monumental undertaking when you say you want to direct a play, especially something as Shakespeare, not just because of the complexity, but also so many people that are into the theater are very, very familiar with it.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm so lucky. I actually have a co-director, Ian Tyron, who couldn't join us today. So I haven't had to do this completely by myself.
Okay, so shout out to Ian.
Shout out to Ian. And we have a huge production team. I think with the cast and the production team, it comes to 46 people working on the show. So we have really capable designers. We have our wonderful translators. We have an incredible dramaturg. So we've got lots of people supporting it and, contending with folks' schedules and with the huge amounts of memorization they have to do. There are definite challenges. I think these people have worked really hard to create something fun, but mostly it's just been very positive and playful. I think that's going to show in the play itself.
Now, if you don't mind me asking, I'm gonna ask you to kind of like break down your own resume as far as the theater goes and everything. What is your background in stagecraft, and how did you get into it?
Yeah, so I've been acting since I was a kid. I have been training formally for as long as I can remember. I have my bachelor's in dramatic art, and then I also went on to get my MFA in acting, and I was working in regional theater and in New York City up until the pandemic hit. And
You're a Tar Heel, by the way.
I'm a Tar Heel, good Tar Heels. And so, yeah, I had been working professionally, pandemic hit, and I had an opportunity to relocate, and it felt like a good time to try something else. So I'm out here, I'm teaching at UOG in the theater department, and working with Breaking Wave, and it's my first time directing, so yay.
How has that been?
Eye-opening to be on the other side. There's a lot of stuff I've made a big deal about in the past as an actor that I now know that I don't need to make a big deal about.
But certainly this is going to help like your own growth and your own knowledge of, I mean, obviously the process and of the craft. I mean, you've studied that, you've mastered it to a certain degree, but now you can see things maybe from 50,000 foot view, would you say?
Exactly. It feels really good to zoom out and see the narrative as a whole rather than doing, I think people think of actors sometimes as like the navel gazing, right? You're really into yourself. I'm certainly guilty of that. It's nice to get a handle on like the story we're trying to tell and not so much like, how do I feel in this moment? Yeah.
Now, as a director, how much creative liberty did you actually take? And that is your prerogative to say, okay, well, it's based on a classic comedy by none other than William Shakespeare, and then, it was transposed to a more contemporary feel. But, you can put your own twist on it to a certain degree.
We have. So we have changed genders of characters. We have created a whole love story that doesn't even exist in the original text. We have added Chamorro and Tagalog. It's based on Guam in 2022, so the costuming reflects that, the sets reflect that. We've changed what is originally a masked ball into a fiesta where they're wearing masks, but they're dancing the cha-cha on the electric slide.
I love it.
Yeah, so there's parts of it that have been really twisted in order to serve our audience. We want people to see themselves reflected and really invited to enjoy the classics.
Okay, I want to go back to the fact that you're performing outside once again, right? Are you performing in the round, or is it still kind of like the audience and there's like the stage?
It's like half and half. So we're doing a thrust staging. The stage is a semicircle, and the audience is sort of all the way around.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's very Greek, right?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, so given the fact that you're not operating on a traditional, like theater, like with the stage and everything like that, how do you, and the backstage people and the crew and the stagehands and everything like that don't get to change out the scenery and everything. That must be a logistical nightmare.
Well, so we're so lucky. They totally do get to do all of that. So we still have lights. We still have sound. So we have these transitions built in. We have a backstage crew who will help with transitions. Yeah, it is a full-fledged production, but it's outside.
Okay, so Madison, I'm sold. And take my money, please. How can I get tickets, and how can everybody else get tickets?
So tickets are available via Guam Time, so guamtime.net, and we really are encouraging people to buy in advance. There's a limited number of tickets, so please, if you can, buy those tickets in advance. There will be some available at the door, cash only, and you can learn more about us at BWTC Guam on Instagram or at bwtcguam.com. And tickets are $15 for general admission and then $10 for seniors, military, and students.
Okay, so and it's totally cool if like we bring flowers on opening night to like toss out to the cast and
Totally.
at the end of the.
And I do want to mention that masks are required even though we're outdoors. It's mostly for the safety of the actors who will be unmasked.
Right on. Okay, so that's Madison Scott directing Much Ado About Nothing. Much Ado About Nothing, maybe some people's opinion on the government, but you know, that's a completely different interview. So Madison, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. And big thank you to our sponsors, Alter Ego Entertainment, the University of Guam, Play on Shakespeare, Humanities Guahan, National Endowment for the Humanities, University of Guam College of Natural Arts and Applied Sciences, and the Tea Factory.
Okay, and if you would permit me, good luck to you and your cast and everybody backstage, and please break a leg.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
All right, good luck. And please stay tuned because we are coming back with more Hotspot right after this.
Get up to the